Welcome to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Today is Thursday, May the 28th, 2020. Adam Freeman coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. Paul Brees is in Brentwood, Tennessee. Encourage everybody to follow us on Twitter at D Through Sports. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul, and check us out and listen to us on all of our listening platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Brees, what's going on in Brentwood tonight?
Mentally getting ready for my 27th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Got to make sure. I remembered. I just got to, set another reminder in my phone to make sure I tell my wife happy anniversary. Right?
Absolutely. We had to celebrate our 24th coronaversary, April the 14th. So it was not the celebration that I hope,
right.
But it was still, there was, she wanted a certain meal, so I was able to get her a certain meal. So
there you go.
It was nice, and we enjoyed it, and I'm sure you guys will too. And let me just say, since we're talking about, since tomorrow is your anniversary, that was the coolest wedding I think I've ever been to, by far. It just the whole it was maybe the biggest wedding I went to ever. But it was so traditional, and it didn't hurt that it was at our home church, and that place was packed. And I think the reception was Brentwood Country Club, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So food was great, ceremony was great. So yeah.
Thank you for not mentioning the bachelor party.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything about that.
Appreciate it.
No, that'll never get talked about. So
here we go.
Here we go, man. We're jumping right off into the deep end here, and we got a lot of this stuff. Is just kind of literally things that we just determined to talk about within the last probably hour. Okay, so that's just how we roll around here. But the first thing is the Japanese soccer league. You're going to love this because, number one, I'm not a huge soccer fan, okay? But the Japanese soccer league has developed – leave it to the Japanese to develop some technological insight into sports. They've developed a fan app that will allow fans to cheer on their teams from home, and it will play over the stadium loudspeakers like they're pumping in crowd noise. Now, do you like this idea?
For soccer?
For soccer. They're
sure.
already doing it on the broadcasts, pumping in background.
Right.
But this would actually be where the players could hear it through the stadium speakers.
Yeah, I know, and I kind of read up on it once you were hinting that this was a topic, and I know that the United States is the major league affiliates are kind of looking over their shoulder to see how this thing all plays out. I could just see a lot of people sitting at home just berating people.
That's what I'm saying.
And who has got the mute button, and who is going to monitor these guys that are maybe dropping F-bombs and everything? I just don't know. I think the Japanese culture is probably more –
it's a little more sophisticated, a little more reserved.
They're not Philly fans, right?
No. Can you imagine? Can you imagine, let's say we get in week 8 of the NFL season, and you got the Cowboys at the Eagles. And let's say they allow 15,000 people in the stadium, but they give the app to these other 60,000 people, and they're pumping in can you imagine just just absolute tirade of all sorts of language. But yeah.
My question is this, Adam. Are they going to be able to understand what the people are yelling if everybody's doing it at one time?
I would imagine it would be put in a queue of some sort, and I don't know. Who knows how it works? But I tell you what, if it's done, leave it to the Japanese to figure out a way to get it done. Now, if we tried it over here, you're right. it would be the audio version of people throwing snowballs at Michael Irvin is exactly what it would be. Okay. Or throwing snowballs at Santa Claus on
There
a
you go.
Christmas Day game down in Philadelphia. But it's interesting. Now, here's what's even more interesting. If they go forward with this, would you get the app?
Yes,
I think I would too.
Yeah, unless it's a major purchase, unless it's like $99 or something like that.
Yeah. If it's a 99-cent app, I'm all over this app.
Yeah.
I'm all over it. But anyway, all right. Well, that gets us to topic number 2, and this was really blowing up on Twitter today. The comments that Dan Orlovsky made about Damian Lillard, about him saying that if he doesn't have a chance to make the playoffs, that he's not playing in these games, and if you need to find him, he'll be sitting over on the bench right over there. And Orlovsky called him, I believe, entitled, a brat, even. Where do you stand on this?
Well, coming from Dan Orlovsky, who's never played a game of NBA game ever, it's hard for me to. First of all, I would say that 95%, if we say Dan Orlovsky, they're like, who? And you have to be a true NFL fan to recognize Dan Orlovsky. Okay.
You really do. You really do.
So the guy never played an NBA game. If this would have came from somebody in the NBA umbrella, I think Lillard would have been more receptive and I don't know, receptive would have been the correct word, but the fire back from Dame Lillard was, hey, basically, he MF'd him and said, basically, let's go to the parking lot, buddy.
Yeah. I'll show you. Yeah. It's like call up Sam Huffman. Let's get the video camera out. We're going to film this thing.
I'll meet you at Concord Road Park, buddy.
Meet you at River Park.
River Park, yeah.
3:45. Be there. I'll be in the back of my truck with a tripod. But Dan Orlovsky, is he not the quarterback of the Lions that went 0-16?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they were. Yeah. There was some discrepancy on his record, and he was saying it 4-12, but yeah, the 0-16. Either way, not very productive.
Yes, yeah. I mean, granted, I think he's an okay analyst when it comes to breaking down quarterbacks. That's where he needs to just stop, Right. And look, Damian Lillard has a valid point here. Okay, you're gonna tell me I don't have a shot at if I play, I don't have a shot of making the playoffs and getting a playoff bonus because that's there, right? What's my motivation for going out and playing these 3 games that you guys need me to play, in order to get your TV money? It's all risk, no reward for him. So I got to go with Damian Lillard on this one. And I think I got to ride with him on this deal.
Well, definitely I think he had a right to respond to Dan Orlovsky.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
because he's not, he's got a legitimate reason. We talked about Blake Snell's issues that he had with coming back. If Blake Snell's really worried about his health, he's got a beef. If Damian Lillard, if that's really what it's about, he's worried about getting hurt, then yes, he's got a beef, and he should be able to voice that and not be, called out by some guy who has never played an NBA game, or even, it has very little credibility talking NBA stuff. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about this. Now, I'm going to give you some Swami points here because you were talking about this probably like a month ago. Because we're talking about top transfer QBs, who's going, where are these guys going? And you talked about JT Daniels. And I was like, I had to look him up. I didn't know who he was. Okay. And he was like, he's the guy from USC. I was like, okay. So he's from USC. And we did a show a couple weeks ago where we did top transfer quarterbacks. And my number one was, I thought Georgia had the top transfer quarterback in Jamie Newman. Okay. I thought they hit the lotto. The guy's experienced. He's won games. He's played in a, decent league, the ACC. He's played Clemson a couple times. He's played some quality football and won games. And the big thing for him is experience. Well, now JT Daniels is announcing that he's going to Georgia. So now you've got 4 quarterbacks at Georgia. Now, understand something. He's still got to get a waiver from the NCAA to be eligible to play. I don't see that being a problem with this whole coronavirus stuff. Anybody that wants to transfer right now, I can't see them denying them and not giving them the waiver that they need. Do you?
Oh, no. Heavens no. I mean, JT Daniels, he left USC because, he's not the starter. And now he goes to Georgia.
And he's not going to be the starter.
No.
Listen, I know, with this whole – the fact that they haven't had spring yet, normally they would have had spring and Jamie Newman would have had a big jump on him. That may actually help JT Daniels that he doesn't Newman's got no rapport with the receivers, hasn't thrown him a pass probably. Well, neither has JT Daniels.
Yeah. So
that might make a difference down the road. I don't know. He didn't start because he got hurt, I think, first game of the year. And then the guy who's filled in for him played so well that he saw the writing on the wall. Man, this is this guy's team. I got to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So.
Hey.
Yeah.
That Kirby Smart. Good luck with that.
Yeah, man.
You know what? And maybe JT Daniels thinks that Georgia is a quarterback factory. I mean, they've had some pretty good luck sending people to the show.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess they'll figure it out. Again, not my problem.
Amen.
My problem.
Here we go.
All right. Next one. See, I threw that one in there on you, and you threw it in.
Yeah, you did. I know. I wouldn't expect that.
That's right. All right. So the new NFL rules. Okay. So they met. The Board of Governors met, and they were discussing this whole. Let's dump the onside kick, and if you score and you're behind, and it's not overtime. I mean, there's something.
No.
And
well,
you can put it on the 25, and it's
yeah.
to 15. You got one play.
One play. Now, listen, this is genius.
Yeah,
I love it. 4th and 15. The success rate, I mean, is actually probably higher than recovering an onside kick.
Way higher.
And I don't know what the owners, when they voted, they needed 24 out of the 32 to make it pass. Only got 16. And dude, that would have, what they say, my wife goes, well, you don't need to watch the NFL game till the 4th quarter anyway. Well, that would have been even more exciting.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. All right. So it's Green Bay, Chicago. Chicago kicks a field goal with 2.5 minutes left. Goes up 10 or goes up 11. Okay. Packers get the ball. They got 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. They score, and there's 48 seconds on the clock. Okay. They're down by 4.
Okay.
Who else would you want to have the ball 4th and 15 on his own 25 than Aaron Rodgers with 48 seconds left? Are you kidding? That is must-see television. And to be quite honest, it wouldn't even have to be Rodgers.
No.
It could be anybody.
TB12.
Oh, man, are you kidding? I don't understand this either. I'm with you. Like, right now, there's a way that it is, like, the end of NFL games is unwatchable. The only reason why you watch it is you hope that, if you got a team that's losing, and you got a guy that's playing fantasy. You hope he gets a
Right.
couple of receptions and some junk yardage to get you some points. That's the only reason why anybody watches the end if it's a 13-point game or something like that. It's for fantasy value.
Yeah, and you had people like Mike Vrabel and Belichick who kind of know the rules too well, and they've kind of come up with ways to really help them in the last 4 minutes if they got a lead. So
wow, how many times did they change the rule now? It's like
I think they did.
If it's inside of 6 minutes, you can't do that anymore.
Right. I think it's something like that.
It's like, okay, because Vrabel, what he would do is he would run the clock all the way down, take a 5-yard penalty.
That's right.
They start the clock, he run it all the way down.
Yeah, this was on a punt.
Yeah, on a punt, on fourth down. And so he was running like 2.5 minutes off the clock.
Yeah. He came from the same tree as Belichick, man. The guy, he knows the loopholes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you got to give him props for that. But
speaking of loopholes.
Hold on. There was one more.
Oh, okay.
There was one more NFL rule that they had talked about, the sky judge. There will be no sky judge. Now, here's the thing. Just because it didn't pass, there's a difference between got rejected and getting tabled. Okay, when the NFL tables something, all that means is we'll put it to a vote, but it doesn't mean we won't revisit it at a later date.
Right.
I see this happening. If not next year, maybe the year after, because you got some really exciting quarterbacks and offenses. I mean, putting the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands, if he's down 10 and he's driving, instead of having to depend on a 3% chance from some kicker. And what happens typically? It gets touched before it goes 10 yards. It goes out of bounds. I mean, that's what typically always happens. So anyway, but yeah, so you added this. Adrian Peterson. Look, man, the guy's been playing football since he was probably 4 years old. Okay, I think he needs to have a CT scan if he thinks that the Redskins have what it takes to go undefeated. Is that what was in the article? I read parts of the article, and I don't know that I saw him say anything about running the table. I think he just baited me into that just to get me fired up. I don't think he said run the table.
Did he not say that?
No, I don't think so. I think he was cited multiple times saying they had the talent, a greater talent pool.
No, well, here's the title of the article.
Okay.
On May 21st, Adrian Peterson thinks Redskins, quote, have the tools to run the table in 2020.
Wow. He's delusional. He needs a CT scan. Okay. Look, he's a great player and all, but you're not going from 3-13 where you lose 9 of your first 10 games.
And not only that, you lose your best offensive tackle.
Yep.
Right? You may have Ron Rivera as your new coach, bring a little more excitement about it. But Adrian Peterson, I got to tell you one thing, buddy. When training camp's over, you may not even be on the team.
Yeah, they might let him go. He might not even be playing. So that's another question for him. Besides, who they got week 1, baby?
Uh-oh.
The Titans.
Oh, yeah. Do they really?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
Yeah, so that running of the table may get delayed a week. May have to start running the table week 2.
Right. So what are you going to try to say? Don't pick up Adrian Peterson in your fantasy draft.
Do not. You might be able to get him off the for like week 7 when some team picks him up. But
that's right.
Not initially. That's a no-go. No-go. All right, now I know you've been waiting for this topic all night, so we're going to get straight to it. The Jericho versus Tyson showdown on All Elite Wrestling last night. Now, I have not seen it. You, of course, DVR'd it and watched it. And, the Jericho, the All Elite Wrestling, as you said, is a sort of a different, an offshoot of WWE, correct?
Yeah, they've
I'll let you speak
intertwined.
to that.
Well, they've intertwined some former WWE guy with some very very talented independent-ish wrestlers from smaller wrestling promotions that would have not gotten the chance in WWE, obviously, and so they've created this All Elite Wrestling. Mike Tyson was brought in for marketing only. Okay.
And he wanted to fight somebody.
You obviously did not see any punches thrown in the ring last night. A lot of skirmish, a lot of people pushing and shoving. His posse against Jericho and his posse. But just the fact that AEW saw Mike Tyson in that video training and called him up and said, "Hey man, you come down here to Jacksonville." Because, and listen, with no fans, they've taken Adam. They've taken some of the wrestlers that were not participating, and they've used them as kind of crowd.
Yeah.
And then I think they've invited maybe 100 people and spread them out in the venue.
Yeah.
And they play the wrestling venue is attached. It's called Daly's Place, and it's attached to the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium.
Okay.
Kind of like amphitheater type deal. And so just to bring him in is a big ratings draw. Chris Jericho is one of the best when it comes to hyping the crowd. This guy is a straight shooter and he can dial it up. And he's the best voice. And I know for a fact that Mike Tyson is not going to wrestle Chris Jericho, but I do know for a personal fact that Mike Tyson is in the WWE Hall of Fame along with these other non-wrestlers. All right?
Talk to me.
Drew Carey.
What?
Okay. The host of The Price is Right.
Yeah. What?
Okay. Bob Uecker, your guy.
What?
Yeah. The Refrigerator Perry. And the last of the non-wrestlers to be in the Hall of Fame, Pete Rose. And they've all
WWE Hall of Fame.
WWE Hall of Fame.
Why?
These people that were brought in, and WrestleMania is kind of the wrestling Super Bowl, right?
Okay.
And WrestleMania, and so they would bring in these people like Tyson and Pete Rose, and they would get them involved and just draw the crowds in, whatever they could do. And so somehow, some way, these guys are in the WWE Hall of Fame. But what I think it was a dual kind of promotion deal. I think it helped All Elite Wrestling, but it definitely helped Mike Tyson when he ripped his shirt off. And 53-year-old Mike Tyson standing there, guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
And he's got the gray beard, but dude is in tip-top shape.
Yeah, see, that probably got him a couple more gigs.
Absolutely.
For sure. So he knew he knows that again, wrestling, no matter what level, you're dealing with experts in marketing and self-promotion. And I think those even if you don't like wrestling, you can admire that part of wrestling. Their ability to take something that you'd be like, why am I watching this? And guess what? You've been watching it for 30 minutes.
Well, let me interject in this, Adam, is that pro wrestling, WWE and All Elite Wrestling have both been active since early April.
Yeah.
With no crowds, obviously. And now they're starting to build in some people. But give props to the wrestling, the sport of wrestling for getting those and get it going and providing entertainment for the people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, like I just said, I found myself watching wrestling about a month ago, and it was, I think, all elite. It was all elite wrestling, and there were no crowds. It was a little weird, but they continued to put up the act, and even the people outside of the ring continued to interact and stuff like that, like they normally would. But you just had no fans, so it was a little bit awkward. All right,
I'd like to thank you for letting me speak on behalf of the professional wrestling community.
Hey man, I am in no way, shape, or form an expert or know anything about anything like that. So I know that's your gig. So I figured that you would appreciate that and would know more about that than anybody that's even going to listen to this episode.
Now comes my favorite topic, food.
Absolutely. Now we can follow that with food. Now let me preface this one.
What are the ground rules on this?
Well, here's the thing. I think first of all, let me give credit where credit is due. Now, last night's topic was
fast food.
Food. Tonight is favorite dine-in restaurants or best dine-in restaurants. All right. So I got this from our good friend Josh Jackson, who happened to share something on Facebook about, hey, I was thinking over with all this coronavirus stuff, what's your favorite? So he would pose the question. So I'll give props to Josh.
Loyal listener
from kind of getting my wheels turning and thinking to myself, man, that's a good question. We should talk about that on Drive Through Sports. Here we are, May 28th, talking about our favorite dine-in restaurants, all courtesy of Josh Jackson's Facebook post from yesterday. So thank you, Josh, for getting my wheels turning. All right. With that said, okay, we need to set forth, as you said, ground rules. Okay, I think we need to go with a monetary maximum.
Thank you.
Okay, is that doable for you?
Yeah.
And we're talking a one-person monetary maximum, not like a date monetary maximum. Like how much you would spend yourself. So I'm gonna throw it out to you. What are we talking? Where are we putting our limit?
$50, or are we going anniversary-ish type meal, $100?
Dude, I've never had a $100 meal.
Oh, that's right. It's solo. That's right.
Yeah.
25 or 50 solo. Your call.
I think we are safe at 25 personally.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a simple guy. Remember that. Okay. So I'm just going to throw it out there. There's lots of, chain restaurants that are dine-in that we are probably both fans of, probably grew up on. I've got to, and again,
if you want to name more than one, it's okay.
I think we can be safe to name more than one. And for me, it doesn't have to be something that it's not going to be something that's, fine dining like Ruth's Chris or something like that.
Gotcha.
Because that's not it for me. Like it's really not. So,
that's right.
For me, my dine-in restaurant, I'm really simple, man. O'Charlie's is in my top two.
Gotcha.
I mean, O'Charlie's is my top two. If I could choose, like around here in Georgia, if I want a good quality sit down, like, hey, let's go out to eat somewhere, it's O'Charlie's or it's Longhorn for me. I can eat at Longhorn. I can get a great meal for under $25 and really under $20 probably. Now, if I'm in Nashville and again, credit to Josh, he reminded me because we both used to work here, Jay Alexander's, Cool Springs. So if I'm at home, for me, it's Longhorn, O'Charlie's. I'm traveling. If I'm in Nashville, I always like to go to J. Alexander's. It's been a long time since I've been to J. Alexander's. So. And if you go to J. Alexander's, get the Cajun seafood pasta. It is amazing. It is great stuff. All right. What about you, man?
I would have to say and this place is near and dear because, and it's still open today. But I took my wife on a lot of dates to this place. Would be Dalt's Grill in
Yeah.
West End.
Yeah.
And then if I'm having to go, around the Cool Springs, Brentwood area, Cheesecake Factory. I know it's a sucker bet. I mean, when you have a menu that's 22 pages long, it's kind of but they give you so much food, and that's a big draw for me. The plates are enormous. So they're not going to shortchange you or cheat you out of any food at all at the Cheesecake Factory.
So you're not missing out. You're not going out of there going, man, I could have really eaten a little bit more. Yeah. And that's the thing with those two as well. Like if I get, for my birthday or Father's Day or Christmas, or even like sometimes I'll get gift cards from my students at the end of the year around the holidays or whatever. Anything Longhorn, O'Charlie's, super happy because I know that entitles me to a great steak. Or I'll be honest, at Longhorn had some excellent burgers.
Yeah.
Their burgers are out of this world. So,
Listen, I'm going to throw this out to you. Maybe one time we can pick, or one of the hot takes could be a restaurant that you always want to go to, but you cannot convince any of your family to go to.
Ooh.
And I've got one, and it just upsets me all the time when I try to sway these people to want to go. So,
well,
anyway.
Since you have more people voting against you, you probably have a harder time with that than I do, since there are more numbers that are battling you there. But I think tomorrow we're going to have some interesting topics.
Tomorrow, though, big day for you, right?
Big day for us at Hoya Nation Sports or HNS Broadcasting. We're going to be broadcasting the drive-through ceremony for our seniors. It's actually going to be simulcast on the NFHS network. And they're calling it the Harrison High School graduation because we don't know at this point if they're actually going to have a ceremony. So
really,
yeah, this may end up being their ceremony. We're just not sure. We're going to treat it like it. Terry and myself, we're going to make sure that we not only recognize every student that comes to pick up their insert, but we're going to mention every kid's name, whether they come or not. So every kid's name is going to get read or going to get said over our broadcast. We're going to have fireworks, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have some trivia. So if you follow Hoya Nation Sports on Mixler, the Mixler app, we're going to have some trivia, some gift cards,
and maybe some drive-through sports T-shirts, right?
Quite possibly. Yes, that's quite possible. I have about 5 or 6 of those already.
Those are going to be hot.
Those will be hot. I'm just going to have to throw them in the windows because I won't be able to make contact. We'll have contact tracing protocols in place.
That's like Rex Chapman, charge or block.
Yeah, block or charge. What's it going to be, dude? I got to get one of those T-shirts. Maybe I'll send him one of our drive-through sports, and I'll get one of his block or charge.
Hey, I'll tell you what. The first person to make a comment on this episode, we'll send you a drive-through sports T-shirt. How about that?
Now you've got to make a comment on
our YouTube page,
on the YouTube channel. Okay, and in that comment, you got to give me some shipping instructions and sizes.
Well, yeah, we can get that information easy.
Yeah, we can probably get that. Okay, I'll put Paul in charge of that. All right, for right now, you guys can take a look at some of our other episodes over here. So you can see those on the screen as they pop up. Also, right below us here, the picture of me and Paul. Just click on that and then click on subscribe, and that gets you subscribing to our YouTube channel. Once again, for Paul Brees in Brentwood, Tennessee, I'm Adam Freeman from Atlanta, Georgia. You've been listening to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul.